I was driving along the highway going 100 kilometres an hour and I had no idea where to turn, what to do, but I just wanted it all to end. I was literally hit by a truck thinking I wanted to end my life.
Brooke McIntosh is an Australian endurance athlete, motivational speaker, and mental fitness trainer. She completed a 14,200-kilometer run around Australia in 204 days, becoming the fastest woman to run around Australia, according to her campaign.
I decided to run around Australia. It terrified me. I had no idea how I was going to do that, but all I knew is I just needed a mission, I needed my purpose, and I needed to follow the plan.
When you look at mental health, I think there's more of a spotlight on it now than ever. But what do you feel is still missing in that conversation?
A lot of people never bring awareness to how they speak to themselves and their internal dialogue, and it always starts in the mirror. Mirror talk is not go to Pinterest, grab the affirmations off, because that is absolute bullshit. You don't feel any of that. You don't accept any of that, because your brain likes to look for evidence. And if your brain can't find evidence where you fully wholeheartedly believe that, it's going to reject it.
Brooke, you share the hardest parts of your story openly. What does it take out of you to go back to that lowest point again and again so that someone else might find their way through theirs?
I wouldn't necessarily, it doesn't really take anything out of me. It's more, I'm a massive believer on turning our pains into our purpose. And each time I go back to that story and I share from that space, I really just reflect and think, holy shit, how far I've come and how grateful I am for life and how grateful I am for all the people, all the communities, all the opportunities coming in just by simply me having courage to share my story. So it doesn't take anything out of me because I've been to the rock bottom. I've felt it, I've dealt it, I've been there. And being on the other side, there's so much hope. So it helps me realize that, yeah, there's so much in life to be grateful for and to be able to give hope to others as well. So it actually makes me feel really good when I share my story because I know it's helping someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you tell it differently now to how you told it the first time? And I guess there's probably different things you've learned along the way about the story as well.
1,000,000%. I definitely tell it so differently now. Like when I first started telling it, I was definitely still stuck in victim state.
Really?
Yeah. Of my mum should have done this, my dad should have done this, I should have had this, like life was so hard. And now it's a real acceptance and a real, I love my pre-car accident. I love all parts of my life. I love what I've gone through. And if I hadn't have gone through it, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I've really flipped it on its head and accepted all parts of my story. And I think that's why I can and I get to share it so openly, because most of it doesn't sting anymore. Because I'm like, everything's just an experience in life. And it's the stories, it's the belief, and it's the meaning that we attach to those experiences that will either hold us back for a lifetime if we're not courageous to look at it. But when we look at it and we shine a light on it and we actually go there and feel that emotion, we feel the shitstorm, then that's where the true healing is. And those stories don't have a hold of me over anymore.
Yeah.
Love it.
You attracted a different style of person through that change? Because we talk so much about victim and victor and like misery loves company.
I actually have 100%. Over the last 4 years, the people who I'm attracting into my world are the people who have gone through shitstorms and they don't want to stay there and they want to bridge the gap and get on and move forward and turn their pains into their purpose now. Whereas before, I would attract people who are still like in that victim state. And it's been a huge switch up for me personally, but also knowing that I can't save everyone. I can't help everyone. I can only help myself. And those who don't want help will be the ones on the outside who will continuously judge. And at the end of the day, I'm not for everyone. So that's been a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But it's also been so game changer because now I'm helping people at a whole new level turn their pains into their purpose.
I'm so excited for this one. So the listeners have got full context and I think your words have the most impact as possible. What's important for them to know about your past and for where you were to where you are today?
At 26, I was suicidal. I was in the depths of it. I was in the depths of the dark spot. I had a lot of childhood trauma to work through. My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. My mum remarried. We found out that my stepfather had an affair for 5 years. where I knock on the door, my heart was shattered. I felt in that moment like I'm an absolute burden. I felt I was unloved. I felt everything was my fault. I had to raise my younger siblings from a very early age, got dumped as a caregiver to raise 4 younger siblings, do the morning routines, do the evening routines, because my mum had to go FIFO and earn a living. I come from a family of, I'm one of 9. So my mum had to work hard to put a roof over our head and food on the table. So it was pull up your big girl panties and get it done. But as I was doing that, I started experiencing eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, body dysmorphia, because I wanted to control the one thing in my life that I had control over, which at the time I thought was my body. Now, the woman who I was looking at in front of the mirror, I never even liked her, never liked her. And I'm a massive believer when people say they move for their mental health, I go, what's your internal dialogue like? Because I'm curious about that. Because at the time I got into the gym at 13 years old, I would skip school and go to the gym, never great at maths, and I would go straight to the gym. I would run 5 kilometres every day and I would eat 1 Weet-Bix. That is not anything to sustain anything. My brother started playing professional AFL and he would look at me and he would call me all the names under the sun, but he was doing it out of love because he was doing it out of, he wanted me to see myself and he wanted me to help myself. And I distinctly remember that one night at the dinner table, he was like, you got to eat something, you're fading away. And when he said that, I was like, yes, I'm on the right track. I'm fading away. I'm slimming, I'm getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So much so I was hospitalised. This went on into early 20s. This went on more and more. I entered the FIFO and mining and construction industry, and I had no courage. I had no voice. I absolutely adored what I was doing because it was a big challenge. I was working in a Blokes world and I was building the roads, and I was also a trade assistant servicing massive locomotives as well. I really enjoyed the banter. I really enjoyed the team. I really enjoyed the culture and the morale. I was sexually abused on site for 6 months by my superintendent. I had no courage to speak up until I was driving along in the bus and an older lady come over to me. She's like, what's going on? I was having a full-blown anxiety panic attack on the bus. My body was whole shaking. I couldn't hold it together anymore. In that moment, she walked with me to seek help and to speak up. By me doing that, I had 20 blokes come up to me, apologise and say, thank you for having courage to use your voice to speak up. Plus, it put a stop for 8 other women. Now, that would have been a rock bottom moment, but it wasn't. I was the woman who kept faking it till I made it on social media, posting all of the highlights reel, bought a house, got a new bag, travelling here. Internally, I really didn't like myself still. And because I was holding on to the shame, the guilt, the anger, the resentment, the judgment for self, I was driving along the highway going 100 kilometres an hour and I had no idea where to turn, what to do, but I just wanted it all to end. I smashed into a concrete bollard and then a truck come out of nowhere and T-boned me. In that moment, it was double hit, double whammy. I was concussed for about 15 minutes. I regained consciousness. I ran over to the Toyota involved and I said, are you okay? And she was, thank God. I ran over to the truck driver who was involved and I said, are you okay? He was, thank God. I went back to my car, searched for my phone, picked up my phone, called the place that I was going to deliver a talk about confidence. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be there in 15 minutes. I was literally hit by a truck thinking I wanted to end my life. And an actual truck was my moment that the paramedics, the police, they forced me to go away to hospital that night. They did all the physical scans under the sun. Physically, I was okay. Mentally, internally, I knew I wasn't. And I knew that I was the only one who was going to save me, that I was the only one who was going to help me. And I knew that parts of me needed to die. I didn't want to die, but parts of me needed to. And the parts that needed to go was the alcohol, was the drugs, was the numbing, was the suppressing, was the faking it till I made it. And on that hospital bed, I made the commitment to myself that I would change, that I would actually do all the things that I said I was going to do and actually embody them. Instead of accumulating the more knowledge, I would actually just embody it all. And that was literally 4 years ago.
Fuck.
Goosebumps.
Looking back now, where you said you'd literally just been in a massive car crash and you still were going to try and get to that talk in 15 minutes. What have you learned as the reason that you tried to do that, rather than like any other person in the world would have gone, I'm fucked, I'm going to a hospital?
And I think it's important that I share that early years of my life, because it was just, this is your responsibility. This is what we do. Pull up your big girl panties, move on. I had just put a massive stop on the whole biggest freeway in Perth. There was helicopters everywhere. For me to look back at that moment and still be like, toughen up, move on, off you go. My car was like non-drivable, and I'd always been putting everyone else's oxygen mask on first and just doing the thing. Never once ever did I stop to check in with myself.
What do you think that's cost you as an adult? That kind of mentality? Because I can relate on many, many levels, not to that extent, but I had to become the man of the house at 9 years old. And looking back now, it costs you some things. There's so many positives and benefits. And probably part of the reason we're so successful that we are today is because of that.
Yeah.
But I also think it costs you a few things as well.
I think it costs us pieces of us, but through my running journey, I've been able to find those pieces back. So I definitely believe that it costs us our personality. It costs us our inner child. It costs us our freedom just to express all parts of ourselves. Yeah, it definitely costs us our inner child is a huge thing, I reckon, because we feel like a massive sense of responsibility. And I'm also like, well, actually, I used to look at responsibility as such a negative light. Don't want any more responsibility. I've got enough already. And now I'm like, I actually love responsibility because I have the ability to change anything and respond differently at any moment in time. So, but yeah, it definitely, like for the first 26 years, it definitely cost me. I felt like I was robbed of my childhood, because I always had to be the stronger woman, and emotion wasn't. And it also robbed me of asking help from others. So I'm curious, are you good at asking for help?
Terrible.
Yeah, most people are, and I could never ask for help. But what I've been able to go on and do over the last 4 years, I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't lean on community and ask for help. And in that moment, I had to ask for help, because I was like, it's either now or it's never. It's either now or it's never, and you keep going back down the path that you're going, and I didn't like that path at all.
What did life look like coming out of the hospital on that kind of turning the page almost moment in life for you? What's changed in terms of day to day? Because I think the hardest part for people to break that identity is the routines, the people that are around, and the expectation of what they should be to everyone else.
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
Courage, immense courage, and faking it till you make it only gets you so far. You're going to get hit by a truck and let me be a truck. Courage can take you so much further. So when I came out of the hospital, I got discharged that night. When I came out 2 weeks later, I returned to sight, and I returned to sight on Are You OK Day.
Fuck.
There's no synchronicities in the life.
Yeah.
Everything's happening to you and for you.
Yeah.
So I returned to sight on Are You OK Day. And I just remember listening to the safety rep saying, check in on everyone, check in on your mates, check in on your loved ones. And I'm standing at the back, like palms are all sweaty, knees are shaking. And I'm like, if you don't speak now, you're going to stay silent forever. And I just counted down 3, 2, 1. And I was like, it's all good and well to check in on your mates, but before you do anything, check in with yourself. Because if you're not okay, how do you actually expect anyone to be open and vulnerable with you as well? So for me moving forward, I just made a commitment to myself to check in on myself every single day. And by me checking in on myself and looking at myself wholeheartedly in the mirror, not for my physical appearance, but for all parts of me, and just saying, how are you today? What's coming up for you today? How are you feeling? Doing that 2 minutes and actually acknowledging myself in the mirror, that changed everything for me. I still do it to this day. And now that's led me to be able to have bigger conversations, help more people. And on site, by me checking in with myself, I started checking in with the blokes on site as well. And it just opened the door because the vulnerability was there. And then vulnerability breeds connection. And it started bringing the team closer and closer together. Yeah.
Love it. One thing that we've learned, we've gone on a massive personal development journey over the last 3 years with, physically, mentally, everything. I've learned that everyone has the same feelings, but we've learned to understand what those feelings mean and why they come up. And it might be related to your past, But for me, just acknowledging why I feel that way or why something feels like that, and that's what it means, is enough to just be able to go, what are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling this because of this, and just acknowledging it.
Yeah.
You don't need to fix it, just acknowledge it. And then you're able to work through and go, cool, I feel like this today, and that is the reason why. But now on the flip side, I know 2 or 3 actions that will help me work through it and cope.
100%. And it doesn't need to be like a massive, big ordeal. It's just the acknowledgement, because when we shine a light on it, we bring the clarity, and then we can bridge the gap between, okay, well, why? Yeah.
Jeez. So the work you do today, who do you serve and what impact is that having?
I serve anyone who wants to be helped, who actually generally wants to be helped. We serve a wide range from school students. We've got programs going out into the schools, the baseline's going out into the schools, and also into the workplaces now as well. So I love being able to talk to a whole range from mining and construction into the corporate world. But what I'm finding more so with me coming out around Australia is I'm actually serving a whole heap more of high performers. Because I'm a high performer myself. And what I know to be true is that high performing will only get you so far. It's the purpose that will get you further, and understanding the why. So high performers are drawn to me by what I've gone on to do now, run around Australia. And they're like, how did you do that? And it's my purpose that drove me every step of the way. I'm a massive believer that mental health does not discriminate, and I can't niche down specifically. And this is why my niche is in schools, and it's also in workplaces and corporates, because I'm really a big believer, ever so much now more than ever, we train our body daily, and what do we do for our mind? And that's where the mental fitness protocols come into place.
Amazing.
Do you think it's harder for high performers to deal with mental health because from the external they seem to have it all and be so successful, and they're crumbling inside?
100%. And that comes where the courage is. The courage and the vulnerability and the brutal, honest truth with self. And I always ask the question, well, why are you this way? 9 times out of 10, it's because they felt the pressure at a very early age to perform, to be. And I'm like, do you actually like the thing that you're doing? They're like, no, I hate it. I'm like, well, quit. I'm a massive believer on quitting for purpose and pushing for purpose. And then that's where you'll find your dreams. I've quit many things in my life and I love it. The first 26 years of my life, I quit that. And now I get to push for purpose. And that's how one runs around Australia.
That's insane. I'm looking, we always do this, right, on these podcasts. We have someone like yourself on and it hits a chord very deeply. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm thinking now where be vulnerable, great, but normally these people, and me included, you feel like you are the strength for other people. So if you show any sign of weakness or vulnerability, are you then letting them down because the way the kind of relationship might have been built is you're the strong one, you know? So now if you're not the strong one, oh shit, that relationship could be on shaky ground a little bit. Does that make any sense?
It does. And I'm also like, I'll challenge that because high performers are great. But at the end of the day, we're all humans, and humans have emotions, and humans need to allow ourselves to just be. Emotions doesn't mean anything about us. It's just that we're a human being, have a human experience. And being a high performer is great until it's not, because then if you don't feel anything, that's where burnout happens. It's where depression happens. It's where internal dialogue starts creeping in, should be doing more. You're not doing enough. You should be further along. Really? Maybe you should give yourself a little bit of compassion because you're doing the best that you possibly can right now. And emotion, to go there, is a massive act of courage. And to not go there, I believe it's being a coward. And at the end of the day, a lot of people introduce themselves as who they are, what they do. But strip it all back to the absolute basic, we're all humans. And humans need connection. To be able to get connection, we need to be courageous, to be vulnerable. So as a high performer, if you can be the first one to have that first step and to break the whole belief of it's weak to speak or it's weak to show any sign of emotions or just toughen up, and you be the bridge for your team, you be the bridge for your people who you're leading, they feel safe, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel understood, and your team culture will just completely shift because they realize that you're not a robot. They realize that you're a human at your core as well, which everyone is.
I think it'd be really powerful in your situation, you know, where you feel like you have to be that kind of unbreakable person. I think people would like it because it would show that you're human And
shows you you're human.
it would inspire them, because you might, like, everything we've achieved, it might be like, fuck yeah, but nothing ever hurts him. He doesn't deal with any emotions. That's why he does it. For them to know, actually, he goes through all the same doubts as what I go through, all the same problems as what I go through. He's just found a way to work through it and still keep moving forward and performing. I think that would inspire a lot of those people that you're thinking about.
Because that gives them hope as well.
Yeah.
Shit, if he can do it and he's just as human as I am, maybe I can do it.
I think what scares me about that is I don't necessarily feel it to then share it, right? Like I've been told by Jess Cameron, who's an awesome mindset coach we work with, I kind of intellectualize my feelings. So I probably live up here. You know, I don't really sit in discomfort, but I even don't sit in pleasure, I guess might be the word. Like when something goes really, really well, I've got our 3rd birthday of Harwell on Friday. So good. It doesn't feel as good as I thought it would 3 years ago. It's just what we do. You know?
It's just what you do. Yeah.
You're like this. I've even messaged him last night. I've gone, oh mate, it's our 3rd birthday for Harwell on Friday. Should we go and play golf Friday, Arvo? Like, because we came 5th on the AFR, and we look back now and we're like, we didn't even go for dinner with our partners to celebrate this. And we're like, the 5th fastest growing company in Australia. That's not normal. And I was like, should we go and play golf? He's like, oh yeah, bit on at the moment. And I was like, oh fuck.
Celebration has to be a huge part of life. Like every small milestone. So absolutely, definitely go celebrate that.
We're rubbish.
I'm a big believer on logic and wisdom. Your body keeps a score of everything. So the fact that you might be living up here, you're missing 90% of the picture. And when you can feel, you have a deeper connection with others. But when logic, as a masculine figure, logic is always going to be there. But then your challenge is to go deeper into the heart and to feel, because then that's where the team gets to feel seen, and that's where a bigger impact gets to be had. Too many people go for logic all the time, and the logic is just AI. The logic is just robotic. There's so much AI then nowadays that people want that connection. So when you have the courage to sit in that emotion, because you can intellectualize it all up inside your mind, but it's the emotion and it's the body work that I'm fascinated about, because honestly, everything gets stored in the body. Whenever I didn't speak, whenever I didn't have a conversation, whenever I tried to hold all the emotion in when I was running 80 Ks a day, it would come out in my knee, it would come out in my shoulder, it would come out in my ankle. And then I was like, what's this trying to tell me? What do I need to feel here? And then I'd either start expressing more joy. Emotion doesn't have to be sadness all the time. Start expressing more joy, more gratitude, more happiness, and then maybe a deep sadness would come over me. But if I didn't allow myself to feel that deep sadness for 2, 3, 4 minutes, that was going to stop the run, and that was going to put me back by a day. That was going to make it more harder to make it to the next destination.
It's quite funny as men, because if you said to me now, what's the first thing you think of when you say the word emotion? I'd say sadness, crying. Whereas you just said emotion can be happiness as well.
It's happiness,
just letting that
and
flow
joy,
out.
And I'm having so many more people, again, come to me who want to start now feeling more joy and happiness. I'm like, amazing. How good, because you don't have to suppress the happiness and joy. You see someone walking down the street in bright colours, singing and dancing, automatically people judge. Oh, she shouldn't be doing that. No, that's a sign of courage as well, to express that emotion, to come through.
She'd have a lot quieter internal dialogue than all of us.
Yeah,
The person
absolutely.
singing and dancing down the street.
Yeah.
You speak about courage a lot, and when you're in your darkest moment, courage got you through. How do you be courageous for someone that is at rock bottom?
3, 2, 1 step. That's it. It's just one more step, and asking yourself what is true for you, and feeling into your body and actually sitting with it. What is true for me? Okay, that I feel that's what it is, and what's not noise, and literally just counting down 3, 2, 1, go. I still do it to this day right now, and courage looks different for every single person. It could look like sending a message for a conversation they've put off for 6 years. It could look like getting themselves off the couch and putting their shoes on and taking the first step outside, walking to their letterbox. It could look like making a hire in their business to grow their business because they really want to do that, and that's their courageous next step. So courage looks different to every single person, but no one can tell you what courage looks like for you. You have to find that yourself. And then it's just 3, 2, 1.
And go.
Do it.
I want to talk about the run. I want to know why you decided to run around Australia. And then not after when you decided to do it, why you kind of went through with it, right? Because there's a massive gap between an idea and an action as well. And then along the journey, just talk us through the highs, the lows. I'm sure there was some prickly times, let's say, along the way.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, when I went back FIFO and I was having these conversations on site and I was helping these blokes, they were opening up, I was opening up to them. I just seen a massive shift and I was like, oh my God, if they're struggling, then I wonder how many more people are struggling. I remember lying awake inside my donga at 2 a.m. in the morning and I was like, these conversations are great, but I want to have a bigger impact. I want to have a bigger impact in this space. And I just started getting into my running outside on site and I was like, maybe I could run a marathon. And I set myself the goal to run a marathon, which any normal human would. Like a marathon's a huge thing as is. So I set myself the goal to run a marathon. And then I started training for it. And then every time I walked into the gym, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, you're never going to be able to run a marathon. You're not going to be able to stick to this. And what I realized about that is that the goal didn't excite me as much because everyone was starting to run marathons. I was like, I don't want to be like everyone else. And if you have a goal in life, it needs to terrify the shit out of you. So I said to myself, I'm going to go one up and I'm going to run from the Pilbara to Perth. The Pilbara is the home of a lot of FIFO workers and Perth is my home now. So I'm going to run Pilbara to Perth and raise awareness of mental health in mining and construction industry. And I did, and I followed through. Yet
How far
also,
was that?
What was that?
How far was that?
1,600 kilometres.
Oh, God.
Is that it?
That's it.
Men's right.
So when I said to myself, I'm going to run 1,600 kilometres, it terrified the crap out of me, but it also excited me and it made me get out of bed and do the reps and do the work. I had a run coach at the time. She didn't believe in me. She gave me the plan and then she was like, good luck. I'd never ran over 10 kilometres in my life at this point in time. This was August 2023. All I knew was if I just took the aligned action and did the work, I would be able to do it. And that's all I did. So I was up against the non-believers. My family thought I was absolute batshit crazy. They were like, oh, here she goes again. Oh, she's going on her grand quest. But the coolest thing in all that is when I finished the 1,600 kilometre run, me and my family all went out for dinner and I went around the dinner table and I said, did you believe in me? No. Did you believe in me? No. Did you believe in me? No. My dad, bless, I said, did you believe in me, Dad? And he goes, no. I was like, why not? And he goes, well, I just didn't want to see my baby girl get hurt. I was like, that's so beautiful. Seeing him in a whole different light. I asked my older brother, who I look up to, is a massive inspiration of mine for his hard work, his dreams, his work ethic, what he's achieved in his life. And I said to him, I was like, did you believe in me? And he goes, no. And I was like, yeah, but why? And he said, he was my brutal truth right then. He said, everything that you said in your life you would do, every time hardship or an adversity or a challenge popped up, you dropped it and you quit and you didn't follow through and you didn't do it. So I thought you would get a niggle, you would get an injury and you would use that as your hardship as to why you wouldn't run 1,600 kilometres. I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. Because in that moment I realised when you push for your own purpose, when you push for your own dreams, doesn't matter how big they are because you'll do whatever it took. On day one of that run, I started running on 48 degrees. 48 degrees. It was hot as all hell. It was burning through my feet. But I knew my purpose and I knew my why. And I kept pulling on that. So when I crossed the finish line at that 1,600 kilometre run, I seen how much this meant to so many other people. And I realised I needed a mission that was bigger than my pain and the system to get there. And I found that through taking just one more step, breath and day, feeling my emotions, doing the reps daily. And I decided to run around Australia because, again, I said, I'm going to run across Australia. That didn't excite me. Someone else had already done that. Multiple people already starting to do that. I was like, I'm a bit boring. Don't want to be like them. So when I said I was running around Australia, it terrified me. I had no idea how I was going to do that. But all I knew is I just needed a mission. I needed my purpose. And I needed to follow the plan. And I just took one step every single day, did the reps, did the reps, did the reps. I also had to acquire a team to help me do that, who was aligned to the mission, who was aligned to the purpose, and who got the complete vision. Team on the ground was a whole nother situation because I started running around Australia with only one teammate. As I was going around Australia, I accumulated more and more and more because they were drawn to the mission. They were drawn to the purpose. They were drawn to the vision. And as we were having all of these impacts, schools started to reach out. Can you come talk to our kids about being kind to their mind? Workplaces started to reach out. Can you come talk to our work colleagues about high performance, mental fitness? I was like, absolutely, we can. So we started stopping off at schools, running around the oval, teaching the kids how to be kind to their mind, bringing like community run activations. And that had the biggest impact. I had no idea that that's what was going to happen, but I just took one step every day, just kept moving forward, one step, one step. We had sponsors lined up for the very first part of the run, for the whole run actually. But 2 weeks prior to the run was my biggest hurdle. I had 2 major sponsors pull out. That was the car and the caravan gone. That would make anyone just want to quit instantly on the spot.
What did you do?
My partner looks at me and he goes, better luck next time, babe. Better luck next time. I've trained for 2 years for this. Hell no. It's still happening. 3, 2, 1. I put a post out on Facebook asking for help. I had a car. I had a fuel voucher and I had one of the wages sponsored for the entire length of the run from a business owner who'd been watching on for the last 3 years. At the start, he didn't have the capacity to, but now this was his moment to help. And he jumped on board straight away. So, and it was fixed within 3 hours, but I had to get out of my way and ask for the help and put it out there and not fold on the mission because the challenges were all there. I had a teammate tell me that he could do the whole thing for 6 months. Turns out he's a week before the run started, he was like, I can only do 2 months with you on the road. I had no other teammates lined up, but I still took the start line and just went every single day. Trusted the plan, but also didn't have a plan. And what unfolded was far better than ever before.
What changed from Brooke that when you experienced hardship in your previous challenges and you gave up compared to Brooke that had that hardship and just went, oh, I'm going to put a post on Facebook. Oh, 2 months, that's fine. I'll just get started and we'll find more teammates.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Two Blokes, One Business podcast.
Now, apart from being world-class podcasters, we also run a recruitment agency called Harwell.
If you're keen to learn a little bit more about what we do, then head over to our Instagram at Harwell Group and check us out.
Back to the app.
Validation. Yeah. So pre-truck accident, I was doing everything to validate others, to never validate myself, my own needs and my own success, what actually success looks like to me. I was doing it for perceived perception. I was doing it to be seen as successful, but I never actually asked myself what success truly means to me. What it means to me is happiness. It means freedom. It means doing the thing I said I would do, but when it's true to me. So previously, I was seeking validation from my mum, my dad, and just to be seen. Now I validate myself first and I get to do all this and I do the thing because I've got my purpose in it and I know the why behind it. When I went FIFO, I was like, oh, I'll just chase my mum's dream. When I started traveling, I'll just chase society's expectation and be a solo traveler around the world. When I was working my ranks up as business manager at McDonald's, I'll just follow my dad's dreams. And then when I went out and did my own dreams, now that they're so happy, they're so proud. I'm so proud of myself because it's not faked, it's not forced, it's full purposeful.
204 days on the road, is that right? What would Brooke at the end of that run tell Brooke at the start of the run? Now you know what you know.
Probably just to sit in truth continuously. Ask what is true for you and just to take the next step. You don't have to have it all figured out. So at the start of the run, I put numbers to it. Numbers are great until numbers are not great. I put numbers to it, 80 Ks a day for 180 days. I'm going to become the fastest female ever to do so. For the first 8 weeks, I was pushing for 80 Ks every single day, running back to back, back to back to back to back, back to back.
That's double marathons, by the way.
Double marathons every day. It became an absolute slog, so much so that I was avoiding conversations with myself and I was avoiding conversations with the community on the side of the highways because I had to hit the numbers, I had to hit the numbers because someone told me from a marketing perspective, from a social media perspective, people will jump on board if there's numbers involved. But I knew at my core, that's not what this mission is about. So on week 8, I woke up that morning and I just looked at Rowan, my support crew, and I said, fuck it, I'm not doing it. I'm not running 80Ks today. My mind can't do it. My body physically cannot do it. I'm in so much agony. I need another solid 8 hours sleep. And I'm going to move forward 20 kilometres.
Mm-hmm.
People got something to say, don't care. And that's when we completely flipped the whole mission to choose conversations over kilometres. And when I did that, it became so much easier because every conversation I was having on the side of the highway drove me forward.
Yeah.
I had more time and space to have a 20-minute conversation. I didn't feel the pressure to be rushed because I had to hit the 80 kilometres. I actually found more joy. The community interacted more. The lives we were impacting had on a so much deeper level. Conversations with the truck drivers, the schools, that's when that all started unfolding. And I still averaged 60 to 125 kilometres a day and still became the fastest female.
Oh, nice. So good.
So numbers are great until they're not.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't become the fastest female, I
Wouldn't
feel
care.
like, the fulfillment you got from stopping to have those conversations would have been far better than a record that would have been great at the time, but you probably wouldn't hold on to it as much as you do the conversations.
Not at all. Like when I crossed the finish line, people were saying fastest female, and I was like, I don't care. Look at who came to the finish line. Look at the impact that we've created. Look at the money we've raised for mental health. Look at what we've been able to do and the lives that we've been able to change. Like that's what I hold on to for sure.
Did you ever nearly give up in the challenge
In the run around Australia,
when you were doing it?
No.
Never an option.
It was never an option, and it was never even, the thought never even really crossed my mind at all. Because if I was almost going to go there, someone would drive past and yell out just one more.
Yeah.
Someone would drive past and give me a cold bottle of water. Someone would drive past and give me a donation, or a message would come through. And that's what just kept me going. I remember having a conversation, and I share this conversation because it will resonate so deeply with yourselves and probably with all of your listeners too. We stopped off at a place called Iron Knob in South Australia, camped up there for the night. Rowan woke up in the morning, started cooking my bacon and eggs for the morning. He was my chef. It was a game changer to have someone cook and clean for you for 204 days. So he would wake up before me and have my breakfast ready. As we were at this campsite, he started chatting to 5 blokes. 5 blokes, they were all just travelling around. They become friends. They started travelling little parts of Australia together. They had just finished doing a little bit of a fishing trip, and they were just chatting around what they're doing, where they're travelling next. Rowan started sharing what he was travelling for and what he's doing on the mission, raising awareness of mental health, breaking the stigma. 4 out of the 5 blokes were really keen on chatting and really keen on asking the questions. So how many pairs of shoes she's going through? Has she lost any toenails? What she's been like? How much money you raised? 4 out of the 5 blokes gave us a donation on the spot. The 5th bloke didn't say boo. Didn't want to say anything. I walked out. I said good morning. Had a little chat to them all. That 5th bloke didn't want to acknowledge me. Didn't want to say hi. Didn't want to say anything. Rowan dropped me off at my X marks the spot in the morning, and I started running forward. As I was running 2 hours later, that 5th bloke came out and found me and stopped in the middle of absolutely nowhere, wound down his window, got out of the car, wound down his window and walked over to me, and he's like, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling a deep sense of sadness and grief because I lost my wife to cancer 2 years ago. Her dream was to travel around Australia, and now I'm living out her dream. So thank you for seeing me. Thank you for doing what you're doing. This bloke was 70 years old. He didn't have to come and tell me that story, but he chose courage to do so. Mm-hmm. And I still don't know to this day how many lives I've impacted, because it's lives like that. And he didn't have to say anything. There's so many other people sitting out there watching from afar who's it's impacting, who haven't said anything, which they don't need to. I'm like, I'm just being me, and leading with purpose and leading with heart now.
A lot of goosebumps this step. Yeah. Is there a favourite part of the run? If someone says, what's the favourite part? What comes to mind straight away? Is there a certain location or a certain moment?
Every Friday.
Okay, what's that?
Because every Friday we did Pants Off Friday.
Pants off.
Go on.
So halfway through the run, we're like, it was just getting mundane.
Yeah.
The tasks are just getting mundane and the conversations were great. But I'm just like, I'm such a singer. I sing horrendously. Such a singer, and I dance horrendously. But I love to take the mickey out of things because life doesn't have to be so serious. I heard Pants Off Friday one time years and years and years ago. And I was like, how can we get more eyes on the thing that no one wants to talk about, which is mental health? How can we get more eyes on women running around Australia, which is a massive goal? And I was like, let's start doing Pants Off Fridays. And we started doing Pants Off Fridays, and I would just wear this one-piece, massive leotard. Because I was outside running all the time, I had horrendous tan lines, short tan lines. And I would wear these knee-high socks and a yellow floppy hat. Now, just imagine a blondie running out in the middle of nowhere in a one-piece, knee-high socks, yellow floppy hat, singing and dancing to High School Musical, to The Greatest Showman, to Miley Cyrus, The Climb, just singing all these
Great tunes,
all these inspirational songs, just having a fat time. Trucks going past, tooting and waving. When we started injecting more joy, lightheartedness and fun like that, it got the conversations going so much further. And I actually loved it because I was finding more parts of me that I'd suppressed for years. Don't be too big. Don't show much too joy. Don't be too happy. I was suppressing for so many years. I started expressing more of that. And I do that now in life. And I'm just like, okay, at the end of the day, we're going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So don't take life too seriously. And we started doing Pants Off Fridays. If we did not have a musical theatre horrendous performance posted by 10 a.m. on Fridays, we would get DMs. Are you okay? What is happening? Where is it? People loved it because we weren't taking it so seriously.
I was just thinking then, that playfulness, that's kind of like tapping into that inner childhood that you felt like you didn't get.
100%. And I still do it to this day now, like singing. Again, I'm a horrendous singer, but I love it because it just brings me so much joy and happiness. And we all need more of that in our life. It doesn't have to be stay dark, dull and depressed all the time.
That's so good. When you look at mental health, I think there's more of a spotlight on it now than ever. But what do you feel is still missing in that conversation?
The safe spaces, the release of judgment, and the brutal truth of it. And the brutal truth is that you can't save anyone who doesn't want to save themselves. You can't help anyone who doesn't want to help themselves. That's a hard pill to swallow. And when we keep sugarcoating it, it's not doing anything. It's not doing any good. And there's so much more light on mental health. There's so much more awareness around it, which is incredible, great. And also, suicide rates continuously increase year on year. Last year, we're up to 3,306. That's huge. So if we're having so much more awareness out there, where's the bridge and the action in between? And for me, it starts with the brutal truth. But you can't force someone, and you can hold a mirror up to them, but you can't force them to seek help. No one could force me to seek help.
I'll say, what's the answer, right? Like, it's so simple. And this is getting a little bit tin hatty now. We had this conversation in the gym earlier. What role do you think that the government or those kind of organisations need to play? Because I'm looking at, and the example I've got in mind is David Pocock, right? You know, the guy is in the government, he's doing great stuff. And he's talking about banning the gambling ads because that's a massive cause of male suicide. That's probably one area. What's your frustration or your take on what the government or those organisations are or aren't doing to help people like yourselves who are kind of leading the way and championing it, you know, individually?
I just think if we want to have a massive change, take down all the alcohol ads, take down all the gambling ads, take down all that and actually switch it for green juices, sunlight, outdoors, grounding. Exercise, connection, community. Oh, I vision a world like that. Don't know if we'd ever get there in my time. Doesn't make any money though, right? Doesn't make any money though.
Fuck.
I think it's just all money driven.
It sounds like your first step of courageousness, yes, that was 1, 2, 3 step, but I listened and you gave up drinking, you gave up drugs.
Yeah.
Like
I got clean.
We've not told many people, but we're on a year no booze at the moment. We talk about it every episode.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of 6 months periods off the booze before and it's transformed my life. But for whatever reason, I've gone back to drinking and everything else that comes with it here, there and everywhere. But now I'm kind of starting to see this could be the last one, because the impact that my life, or the impact it's had on my life, has been astronomical. We said on January the 1st, we're like, we've got Harwell as a business. We're about to launch a new business. We've got a podcast. If we dial in for 1 year of no booze, that will change our lives forever. We're 5 months in or 6 months in. It's already happened. Like we'll never look back from here. But I just wish so many more people had the courage to make that change. And there's so many different levels. It's the government, you know, there's a war on peptides at the moment, but either side of the peptide, the Channel 9 news of peptides are bad for you is a fucking McDonald's ad and then an ad about 4X afterwards. And it's like, how backwards is that? But even just that courageousness for people to go against what society thinks is acceptable as well. Because yes, it's the actual scientific side of it. But it's also the minute I say, oh, I'm not drinking today, lads. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're an idiot. If I go, oh, sorry, lads, I'm not going to shoot up heroin today. Like they'll go, oh yeah, that's all good. Like fair, no worries. It's just so backwards. And I don't know how we change it.
Yeah, it's for me as well. Like when I gave up the drugs and the alcohol, everything shifted. More clarity started coming in my mind. I could do more things. I could go further. And when I reach, even now, like I do love a glass of red wine. Do love a glass of red wine, sitting by the campfire, the best thing. But I ask myself, if I find myself reaching for it, I ask myself, what am I avoiding? Yeah. Is this for an experience right now? Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. So do I want to have a wine to have an experience, or am I having a wine to numb and to avoid? So before I even have any drinks, I go, what am I avoiding? Okay, should I do that? Yeah, probably. Shine a light on it? Yeah, probably. Do the thing. Don't need a glass of red wine to numb anything. That's
really good, because our good friend Michael Galatli is kind of on this year no booze setup as well. And we have a little group chat and we were firing in like, oh, where do you think we're going to be in a year? What's the crack? Oh, it's pretty, not set, but saying this phase of life, I probably won't go back to drinking. I'm like, I don't want to miss out on, I'm going to Italy next year, my wife. I don't want to miss out on being in a wine region and having a bottle of red wine.
That's a whole experience, isn't it?
Yeah. You know? Like, but then at the same breath, having a fucking glass of red wine with my mates at Mermaid Surfy, I know where that ends up.
Yeah.
in your kitchen.
But then my brain also then works, it loves the black and whiteness. I'm not drinking right now. Easy. I haven't got to think about it. Even if I want, I'm like, but you're not. Whereas when I haven't got that polarity, when it's, oh, I am drinking if it's with Mads in a nice place, but then how do I then convince myself or qualify myself to what that is and isn't? But I'm Mermaid Surfy, but there is a nice view and the red wine is...
Then how do you just have one instead of having 10 and then go too extreme?
100%.
How does Gelatz explain it?
I don't know the words he used, but it's very similar to what you're kind of thinking is, Brooke. It's more about actually wanting pleasure and the taste of the red wine and experiencing that, as opposed to just smacking back 5 glasses and then being blind and numb. Yeah. He's a very smart bloke, so he puts it in a way better way than that. But that was the gist of it, right?
Yeah, and that's come from someone, he was a drug addict for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really bad for years. So he's come out that other side and now has a relationship with it, where a lot of people that have been serious drug addicts, they have to go clean forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into psychology, so he's very, very self-aware. I think that's probably the key word. It's that self-awareness, but self-awareness and trusting that self-awareness to know when you can actually pull yourself up and go, no, I'm reaching for this wine because I'm trying to escape a tough week. I'm actually going to leave it on this occasion. Or I'm in a winery in Italy, having that trust to make that decision every time, because you can just, the brain is terrible, right? You can just start to trick yourself into the fact like, oh, it's not that I've had a tough week. It is the view at Mermaid Surfy. So I think that's where he's nailed it.
And especially when you're around like friends, pressure environments there, the judgment of others, it's just like, oh yeah, everyone wants me to do this, so I'm just going to do this. So like pulling away from that and then just sitting with truth of like, what's true for you?
Yeah, but then I think that's full circle back to you, where you've changed your actions based off validating yourself rather than the validation of others. Because the reason that you have the drink because others expect you to, you're just validating their feelings.
Yeah, I went through a whole period of time where I just wasn't drinking at all, like in my whole, like especially a non-negotiable was for me was to not drink at any family environments. And my family was like, have a drink, have a drink, have a drink. My mum's a huge drinker. She loves the drinks. Anyway, I was like, no, I'm not having a drink, not having a drink. They would push back. But then it just got to a point where they were like, oh, Brooke doesn't drink. How good?
Doesn't take long.
No.
And they're only telling you to have a drink, not because they want you to have fun. It's because it validates their
And they want to feel
problems.
comfortable in the moment.
It's
too.
making them, yeah.
It's like, I'm all good.
I'm keen to dive into your actual programs that you deliver and that you run on. There's going to be so much context to them, but in the next kind of few minutes, is there any tips and tricks people can take away to, if they're not on this journey yet or they've kind of found the awareness of it because of this episode, what can they do is step 1, step 2? Or if they are, but they feel like they're hitting a bit of a wall, that motivation's gone and now discipline's got to kick in, I want them to take away some real valuable tips and tricks.
Number 1, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Number 2, look in your left eye of the mirror, because your left eye literally is your gateway to the soul. But it's really to understand how you currently speak to yourself. A lot of people never bring awareness to how they speak to themselves and their internal dialogue. So it always starts in the mirror, to see parts of yourself that you've never seen before. I'm massive on mirror talk, do it 2 minutes a day, every day. But mirror talk is not go to Pinterest, grab the affirmations off, because that is absolute bullshit and your body won't be able to feel it. It's like we repeat these affirmations that we've taken off Pinterest, repeat them back to ourselves, but somewhere there's still inside of us that goes, no, you're not. You don't feel any of that. You don't accept any of that, because your brain likes to look for evidence. And if your brain can't find evidence in yourself and in your life where you fully wholeheartedly believe that, it's going to reject it. It's going to reject that statement and reject that affirmation. So mirror talk is all about looking at yourself in the mirror, in the left eye, and telling yourself the truthful rep right now. And the truthful rep could literally start at, I am human. I have 2 legs. I showed up today. I did the thing. I went to the gym. And it's stacking the truthful reps one on one. And at the end of the day, doing that again and debriefing with yourself. Did I do the rep or the excuse? Did I do the thing that I said I was going to do? What am I avoiding? Did I treat myself the way I treat others? And what am I grateful for? A lot of the time people shoot for the gratitude without acknowledging the shit. Life is heavy. Life is hard. Business is hard. And also it's so much gratitude and abundance all in one. But if we just shoot for the abundance, that's like toxic positivity. We need to allow ourselves to feel the shit, to be like, actually, this is such a hard moment right now. And okay, that's okay, because it's not going to last forever. So by asking yourself those 4 questions, looking in the mirror, and you said the word discipline there, understanding that discipline is not a form of punishment. Discipline is a system that bridges the intention and the identity together. Because without discipline, you don't have freedom. Without discipline, you can't achieve the goal. You can't build the business. You can't scale. You have to have discipline. And I like to look at discipline as 3 C's. It's clarity, it's consistency, and knowing there's a consequence if you don't do the thing. So when you bring clarity to the thing that you want to be more disciplined at, why do you want to build a business? What's that going to give you? More money? But what's the bigger why? If you're driven by money, amazing. But why? Little kids from 4 or 5 years old, they go, Mom, Dad, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Why do we do this? As a parent, you're like, I've explained it to you so many times. Shh. It gets a little bit annoying, but I encourage people to ask themselves, why? Because when we bring the clarity, we can be more consistent in the thing because we know the why. And we also know that if we don't do the thing, there's a consequence. Someone wants to lose 10 kilos. Well, why do you want to do that? Is it to show up as a better family member? Is it to show up as a better mother, father? Is it to feel better about yourself? Okay, well, if you don't go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, you're not going to feel that way. You're going to stay stuck. And is your pain where you currently are staying stuck better than bigger than going to the gym? Because, bringing the clarity, the consequences, and the consistency to it will make you be more of a disciplined human. Because understanding that discipline isn't the punishment, it's the bridge that bridges the intention and the identity together. And for me to run around Australia, it's not about just showing up every day. It's the bigger question of who I had to be in order to do that. I had to be the courageous woman. I had to have the conversations with my teammates. I had to trust in self. I had to do the uncomfortable shit and do the reps as well. I had to say goodbye to my family. I had to show up in communities. I had to put my own oxygen mask on first for me to be able to show up every day for everyone else.
One thing that I've learned is that discipline creates the actions that massively impact that self-talk in the mirror. Even 4 or 5 years into this journey, like from when I had some mental health struggles, like people don't understand that the mirror talk still can change every single day.
Every single day.
For me, it was the discipline this morning, even though we'd been to Sydney and I was knackered, just to get out of bed early enough to come and do a gym session meant that when I was having a shower in that gym downstairs, I was looking in the mirror going, fuck, you look great today. You've got got a great chest pump on.
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't do that, if I didn't have the discipline to do that because I knew the clarity of the outcome, from someone that's also struggled a lot with body image, my self-talk in the mirror would have been, you're getting fluffy today.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to, and for me, it's as toxic as not enjoying my food or eating freely as much because you don't feel good because you haven't worked out, and then you feel fluffy and the food's going to make you feel even worse.
And this is the thing, like, you know in yourself at your core what your limits are, and you know if you did the thing or if you didn't do the thing. You can sugarcoat it to others and say, yeah, I did it. But you know in your core and you know in your self-talk that if you didn't do your thing, your self-talk's going to be like that. For sure. And I always say that people want more self-trust in themselves, or if you want more self-trust, you have to do the motion, because the motion produces the lotion. And if you don't do the motion, don't do the action, you're not going to have any self-trust, because it's just like having a best friend who shits on you 24/7 and doesn't do the thing that they said that they were going to do, cancels on you last minute for 6 months straight. You'll be pretty pissed off at them. So then my question to clients and to anyone is, well, why do we do it to ourselves? Why do we give up to ourselves? Why do we not do the thing that we said we were going to do? Commitment to me is huge.
Yeah. And it's back to knowing what you value in life. Like, a lot of people would say, why don't you work on your body image issues? I've just accepted that one of my values is looking good. I know if I train hard, I eat well and I look good, I feel better. Whether people might listen to that and think that's really, really toxic, but I would rather be that person, because I also know when I look good because I'm training and eating well, I'm better in business, I'm a better dad, I'm a better partner. So would I rather all of those positive things, but I still deal with this little body image niggle, but it makes me a better person? Or I fix this body image issue and I just become a slightly overweight dad bod, but then I know the impact of everything else slipping.
Yeah.
I know that, true to my values, that's just me.
It's a fuel source, right? Whether it's organic, but it is what it is.
It works for me.
Yeah. Values are huge. I'm a huge values girl.
I've loved that. Absolutely loved it. I know you've had a bit of a whistle-stop tour, Brooke. Where have you been the last few days? Where are you going after this?
I'm in the Gold Coast. I'm going to the Gold Coast. No, I'm here. We got Gold Coast tomorrow. So excited for that. And then we go to Brisbane. We're going to Darwin. Then we're going to Arnhem Land, which is just a little island off Darwin. And then we finish a tour back in Perth. So good. Back in the home state, back in Perth. But we've been all around Australia. It's been it's been a big week already, a big week to go, but I love this stuff. It lights me up. It sends me more into purposeful work and impacting lives, helping people.
So cool. I was sure they will have, if people are inspired by this conversation, where can they find you and find a bit more about you?
Yeah, so everything's at Brooke McIntosh _ on Instagram, or www.brookemcintosh.com.au. Otherwise, look up Just One More and you'll find everything there as well.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us on.
Hey guys, it's Jake and Lockie from Naturally Cooked Sunscreen, and we are pumped to be sponsoring the Two Blokes, One Business podcast.
We're on a mission to foster a generation of Australians who take sun safety more seriously and encourage it amongst their mates. You can find us at naturallycooked.com.au or follow us at Naturally Cooked Sunscreen.